There are two verses in the Quran that explicitly order and state the particulars of a woman's dress concerning hijab or head covering. The first chapter on Nur states, "Say to the believing women that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty, that they should not display their beauty and ornaments except what must ordinarily appear thereof, that they should draw their veils or kumur over their bosoms and not display their beauty except to their husbands, their fathers, their husbands' fathers, their sons, their husbands' sons, their brothers or their brothers' sons, or their sisters' sons, or their women, or the slaves whom their right hands possess, or male servants free of physical needs, or small children who have no sense of the shame of sex, and that they should not strike their feet in order to draw attention to their hidden ornaments." The word veil is translated from the Arabic term kumur, and kumur is a particular item used for covering during the Prophet's time. A second verse in chapter Al-Ahzab of the Quran states, "O Prophet, tell thy wives and daughters and the believing women that they should cast their outer garments, or jilbab, over their persons when abroad. That is most convenient, that they should be known as such and not molested." Outer garments, in this verse, is translated from the Arabic word jilbab. Jilbab was also another clothing article used for covering during the Prophet Muhammad's time. Jilbab was an article worn over clothes during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. Today it would resemble an overcoat or a loose, long dress. The word hijab in Arabic means to act as a barrier, akin to a curtain. The term hijab is used to describe Muslim women who adhere to the practice of covering or curtailing their bodies by wearing an outer garment over their clothes, which conceals and prevents the shape of their bodies and hair from being visible. They are advised not to wear form-fitting, contour-revealing, or transparent clothing. The Quranic verse 33:59, advising the Prophet Muhammad to tell the women of his community to cast their hijab over their bosom outlines, two primary reasons for the injunction. Firstly, it ensures that Muslim women can be readily recognized within society, thereby reducing the likelihood of unwelcome advances. Secondly, it restricts the display of a woman's physical beauty and attractiveness to her husband and close family members. As stated, their beauty except to their husbands, their fathers, their husbands' fathers, etc. By limiting the exposure of her physical beauty, the Quran aims to protect women from exploitation and preserve their dignity within their familial and marital relationships. It underscores that the hijab is not required in the presence of immediate family members, including her husband and those with whom she shares familial bonds. It is important to understand that the Quran addresses the issue of a woman's physical attractiveness and emphasizes the importance of not unnecessarily drawing attention to this aspect of herself. In the chapter 24, verse 31, the Quran states, "What their right hands possess, or those men who have no desire for women, or small children who have no sense of the awareness of sex." In light of these contexts, Muslim women are afforded an opportunity to adopt a less strict and formal dress code. Likewise, in 2460, addressing elderly women beyond the age of marriage, the Quran states, "There is no blame upon them if they put aside their outer garments or hijab, provided they do not make a display of their beauty in a way that is provocative. But it is better for them to be modest." Together, these verses illustrate the Quran's emphasis on guarding a woman's physical beauty, even for elderly women who are no longer eligible for marriage. The focus remains on modesty and preserving dignity, regardless of age or marital status. Inner and outer hijab. The inner hijab. The ultimate focus of Islam is the preservation of a person's beauty and purity. The outer garb, including the external hijab, serves as a source of beauty as it protects and creates a barrier against any sexually shameful deeds, thus safeguarding and preserving the purity of both women and men within society. In 726, the Quran reminds Muslims that God has sent down raiment or clothing specifically to protect from actions that are shameful or sexual immorality. In 731, the Quran encourages Muslims to wear their beautiful apparel at every time and place of prayer. This apparel acts as both outer and inner protection. In 727 of the Quran, God says, "O children of Adam, let not Satan seduce you as he caused your first parents to go forth from the garden and tore off from them their spiritual apparel that he might manifest their shame to them." The outer apparel or protection is the hijab, which guards against shameful deeds, and the inner apparel is piety and righteousness. Acting piously protects from the path of shameful deeds, which ultimately strips people of their spiritual purity or apparel. This is confirmed in 726 of the Quran. But the raiment of righteousness, that is the best. Such are among the signs of Allah, that they may receive admonition. The Quran provides clear directives regarding women's attire, emphasizing modesty and protection of physical beauty. Verses such as 24:31 and 33:59 outline guidelines for dressing to distinguish believers and safeguard them from harm. The concept of hijab, meaning barrier or curtain, extends beyond physical garments to encompass shielding one's dignity and purity from immoral actions. These teachings underscore the Quran's intent to foster respect, modesty, and spiritual integrity within Muslim communities, regardless of age or marital status, reinforcing the importance of righteousness as the ultimate adornment.